Hey everyone, Andy Lauer here, your squeaky clean new producer for the show. And unfortunately, Dustin is an old man and threw out his back. It's exactly what he wanted me to tell you. His words, not mine. So we will be back next week, same time, same place, with a new episode. And in the meantime, enjoy our Valentine's Day episode from last year.
Hey everybody, welcome to Don't Make Me Come Back There. We are a funny podcast about family. My name is Dustin Nickerson. I'm a stand-up comedian, the host of the aforementioned podcast, and directly across from me in our back room / recording studio / our daughter's bedroom is my lovely wife, Melissa Nickerson.
Hey there.
We are here. It is Monday morning / afternoon. It is Tuesday morning / afternoon. Mm-hmm. We got our ceremonial pre-pod fight out of the way. This has just become a tradition. I don't know if you've noticed this. 3 in a row.
I think it's just been extenuating circumstances.
Okay, well, we will dive into such extenuating circumstances in a little bit. But nonetheless, thanks for tuning into our little podcast that could. Today, we have to discuss a few things. We have some old man injuries. We have why Melissa hates Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
What was was there some other?
I got a bingo dingo.
We got a bingo dingo review of the new Disnar. Disnar is the Pixar Disney merge of the new Disnar movie Encanto. And we've got a couple emails from you folks. So that's what's in store. Before we do that, thank you, backseaters and new listeners who maybe discovered me this weekend for coming out to shows in Lynchburg. I was in Lynchburg, Virginia at Liberty University, and that was a lot of fun. And I have a fun video that I'm editing as we speak. Not currently as we speak, but it'll come out new of me. I did a lot of Liberty jokes. I did the convocation. It's
a Friday morning.
Those not familiar with Christian schools, a lot of them, colleges, they have like a mandatory church service, convocation, chapel type situation. Yours did not, right? Seattle Pacific did not.
No.
But you had a certain amount of, you had to be involved in a church or something?
They call them like U-course.
Yeah, what was that about?
University curriculum. They had like a million opportunities that were varying Christian growth opportunities, and you signed a thing saying you do like 12 a quarter.
12 a quarter.
Yeah. I would say
so they're essentially saying go to church every week.
75% of people did not do them.
Really? Well, that's SPU.
Yeah.
That checks out. Well, with the Liberty...
I got to see the creator of VeggieTales at chapel.
So you did have a chapel.
No, I would go to them.
Yeah, that sounds familiar. Yeah. I just forgot about it.
They did Tuesday morning chapel, and then, I mean, they just had a lot of great minds and thinkers, and they would bring people in. Right.
You know? And so, Liberty does the same, and I'm sure
they send out a catalog, and you just pick a couple.
Right.
Or don't.
It's a big deal to do convocation. I did not do convocation. Years ago, when we were touring... John Chris did convocation, and he did convocation. He was like Elvis when John went out. And he did comedy. Tim Hawkins has done convocation. Like these guys.
It's like a 25, 30 minute.
I think John did like 15, 20, and then like a Q&A. And then John did a big show in the arena. So convocation is in an arena. It's not a room. It's not a theater. It's not a church. It's not a chapel. It is an arena. It is gigantic.
Yeah.
And so I was not doing that. This has been on the books, this show at Liberty, for 3 years.
At least.
Like, I had a different agency when this got booked. It was a long, long time ago. And it came from me opening at John, and some of the staff liked me, and they're like, let's bring Dustin back. Sounds great. I would love to do a show there.
Yeah.
And, Lynchburg and Liberty, and, there's no lack of comedy opportunities there.
Right.
And between then and now, there's been like 75 Liberty scandals.
Yeah.
But it's on the books, and whatever. It's a public show, so it's actually open to the community, and I have some fans in Lynchburg, and it just happens to be at Liberty,
Yeah, the venue is on campus.
You and I would do this all the time. You and I we went to college comedians. This is actually
the SDSU has the open air amphitheater, and we go there all the time.
There's two ways. There's two versions of doing comedy at colleges. One, there's like you are some special entertainment at some random event that's only for students, or you're in a cafeteria or some talent show, you're emceeing. I've done it all. They're all bad.
Yeah, every like single freshman mixer.
Every single one of them is so bad.
Yeah.
And I did that freshman orientation at that all-girls school.
That's right.
In their dorm, after they went and had like a big cry fest, and they're like, so we brought in a comedian. I was the only male there. They had all been crying about how hard high school was and family stuff. And originally we were going to be in the Nut House Theater, which seems kind of fun. I was like, that sounds great. And then they're like, hey, actually, because we're going to transfer it to the common area in the dorm.
No.
So these are the type gigs I survived. I got through. These are the type gigs that you do. And then there's the other type, which is this just happens to be at a college.
It's an event space.
It's open. It's promoted heavily to students, of course, but it's open to the whole community. Taylor and I did that a couple weeks ago at the University of Houston. So that's what this event.
Yeah, you did Chico.
Right. The room sat like 400 or 500, and day of, the plan was I would come in to do convocation and help promote it a little bit, to do like a little preview.
Yeah, this happens like at conferences.
Yep.
Church, you'll do a couple minutes.
Yeah.
And plug the event.
Corporate events, stuff like that. Just a little preview. Hey, come check this out. So originally I was going to be flying into Pittsburgh because we were supposed to do the show at the Pittsburgh Improv, which, by the way, that got delayed. I'm sure you guys saw that already. Upcoming headlining at 324. I'm going to be, you guys had an ice storm, so I couldn't make it out. But that's going to be 324 Pittsburgh at the Improv. And then May 5th, I'm going to be AW Whiskey Exchange in Atlanta. June 16th, the Old Church Portland. We're working on a few other dates. They'll be up soon enough. Bakersfield, Huntsville, Appleton, Nashville. There's a few happening. Sacramento. There's a few happening. Oh, San Diego in July. Yeah, it's all happening. Lots of things happening. So that got canceled. So what I ended up doing is I flew in the night before and I go out and we don't know where I'm going to land in convocation. We don't know, but the assumption is I'm going to go after music, after like the worship band, which is great. Everyone's in. Everybody is settled, seated, and they bring me up. I do 5 minutes. I had kind of in my mind what we were going to do, had a whole idea for a set, I cold opened. Somebody essentially went up. I didn't cold open. Somebody welcomed them, was on stage for no more than 30 seconds, and then introduced me, to which nobody heard. And I just went out in an arena full of thousands of students, half of whom were standing, half of the ones who were sitting who were listening, so maybe a quarter of the crowd paying attention to me. And even those ones I couldn't hear or feel laugh at me. And I just bombed for 5 minutes. It wasn't even a bomb. It was almost like it didn't happen.
Yeah.
It was just like a crazy guy yelling on stage for 5 minutes. And it was that level of awkward afterwards where people were like, not talking to me. They were
purposefully ignoring
They
you.
were like, thanks for being here. Not great job. I was getting a lot of that. Now, I thought I had just straight up bombed. Some of the staff who was in the crowd were like, hey, that was actually really great. People like that. And I think it just depended where you were sitting. I think there were groups of people paying attention.
Yeah, the staff was on time, so they were seated.
Yeah. If they were in the areas that were seated, and I got messages from students, and half of them were, hey, man, tough crowd. Sorry we were dead and not paying attention. It was super early, and half of them, they were like, you just crushed, But what actually happened is I know what happened. Everyone who was paying attention pretty much liked it because it was a fine set.
Yeah.
And then I was only doing 5 minutes. Thank the Lord I was only doing 5 minutes.
Yeah.
My last joke missed. And I go, and I'm supposed to then throw to a QR code on the screen to get tickets to my show.
Yeah.
And I go, so the joke misses, it's, I don't remember what the joke was. It misses. And I go, okay, well, I'm doing a comedy show tonight. So if any of you guys would like to see me in the evening, at night, in a comedy setting, instead of at a mandatory church service, swing by tonight. And that got an enormous laugh. And I think that's what sold the tickets to the show, because it ended up giving us a big bump on tickets. Shortly after.
Do you think it was because that was funny, or was it just like a call to like the referencing?
It was
the awkwardness of the room.
It was 2 or 3 things happening. One was it was just an objectively great joke.
Time, right place.
2, it was me acknowledging what had just happened. And 3, it was me kind of making fun of the school. And that turned into like but a lot of my act that night. Got it. You'll see in this video, one of my favorite things about that show was it's so funny that there was so much security at this event. Wow. And I was just laughing, including 2 by the stage, a security guard to my right, a security guard to my left. What I didn't know until later is that those 2 were married, which is pretty cute. But they were just like standing, like my guardians to the side of the stage. And every time I made fun of the school, the female, this like older lady, she was dying. And I called,
because it's her employer.
Well, and that's what I called out on. I was like, you have been waiting for someone to come in and roast this school for decades, for as long as you, and it's so weird here. And she's just nodding and laughing. And I'm like doing her voice. Like, you're like sitting here going like, why do we have to pray before we do security? Like, so it ended up being really fun. And that ended up being, Lynchburg was a ton of fun. And then it was Aaron Weber and I. Aaron had great sets all weekend. Aaron has such good sets that I'm like, I wish you were a little less good at this. Because especially when we're going into environments where he is going to be a little more well received out of the gate, just in the fact of where he's from, what he's like, that when I go into like small conservative towns, I feel the outsider niche. I feel
you want to take Aaron with you to Portland and be like, I'm going to see if you sweat.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's it. And it's not like I have bad sets. I just have to acknowledge outsiderness, and feel it. Like, and also I was in small towns in Napanee, Indiana, and then we did like a church gig at Black Rivers Fall that pretty much didn't even acknowledge that there was a pandemic. Yeah. Like someone said in Napanee, the schools were closed for like 2 weeks.
Wow.
Yeah, exactly. And so a lot of my act, I'm like, you
different
guys,
world.
That's what exactly is. I was like, you guys, I'm sending you articles yesterday that like, hey, they might take the mask mandate down. Did you see in New Jersey they don't have to wear masks in school anymore? And so it's just more work to explain it. So I want Aaron to be less good, because the reality is that probably taking Portland, he would make me work, if not bury me.
Oh yeah,
so
I mean,
that's the thing with Aaron's great.
It's a great show. It's a great show when the 2 of you are together for the audience.
I don't know of another comedian like that. I mean, I told at both shows, or all 3 shows, I said like, hey, if you guys do this again, Aaron's, I tell him. Yeah,
hopefully Aaron got like 3
I'm pretty
gigs
sure he
out
got
of
3 gigs out of it. I told him like this. I told him each time I go, Aaron is not an opener. He just happens to be opening for me this weekend. Yeah. And yeah. So anyways, and then Napanee, that was open to folks too. Napanee was it reminded me a lot of Taproot, the theater that you worked for.
Yeah, in Seattle.
Well, much bigger. Like it's at a couple hundred. The barn, the round barn theater. Yeah.
Is that like a silo or something?
Yeah, it was like a cool dome. It was really, well, it was a barn.
Yeah. I'm going to be honest, I don't know that much about barn motif.
Hilarious. So funny.
It didn't have heat. I mean, I could see the roof of it from one of the photos.
The venue had heat. The restaurant beforehand did not.
Oh.
And we got quite cold.
That's odd.
Yeah.
That's odd. Did it have a wood, like a stove?
No, the heat went out.
Oh.
They had heat. It was broken.
Okay.
And actually,
this is making more sense.
The main dining room didn't have it. And then they're like, hey, we have this side dining room that does have it. But it was too close to the main dining room. It was cold. It was a cold dinner. We left our coats on. It was
okay.
chilly. I was cold all weekend long.
I'm sorry.
It was like in the 8s. It was 8. And it felt like -3.
Yeah.
It was... we talked to some friends this morning who might be moving to Iowa, and I'm like, think about it. I mean, seriously, because I'll tell you, when I come home to San Diego and I take my sweatshirt off and my coat off and my ridiculous fleece hat off, it's a great feeling. But it was, even I think they were saying kind of unseasonably cold by their standards. Someone said I told them, I go, this is that level of cold where when you go outside, you have to say something. Everybody says something. Now, during the day, a little warmer. We walked around Notre Dame because we were near Notre Dame. That's where Aaron went to school.
So cool.
That was super cool. That was all lovely. But all that to say, this culminated in I did all these gigs, and we were driving up from La Crosse was where we were staying at our hotel, Wisconsin, and then we had to drive up to Blackwater Falls. I don't remember what it's called. Something Falls.
Yeah,
it doesn't matter.
Black River Falls.
Black River Falls.
The people care, Dustin.
They do care. And we mistakenly went up essentially what felt like a pass, just a straight up mountain road in the dark, snowing, like very limited visibility. There was a point one day,
you two and nothing else.
Nothing to. We just kind of at one point I was like, I can see maybe 6 to 8 feet in front of the car. I was driving so tensely that it caused a muscle spasm that would hit me later that day. On stage. I don't know how this is. We segued into the old man.
This is your Sunday night.
And so Sunday night on stage after during my set, and I'm like going through my act, going like, I can't do that bit. I can't. I turned into Zoolander. I couldn't turn left. I was like,
the adrenaline would only take you so far. Because I wonder how much pain you really were in that you noticed it on stage.
You know what probably actually did happen? Because normally when I have like a back injury, it hits and then I hit the ground. Or like I'm like, but you are right. I probably did have enough adrenaline that the brain was like, we can't deal with this right now.
Yeah.
We have to finish this. I was going through, I was telling the jokes and the set was good and stuff, but I was like on stage going like, what if I get hurt up here? And it would be the saddest injury of all time.
That would be such a sad show if the comic got hurt.
Yeah.
That the whole point is for the opposite to happen.
Yeah, everyone's like, you're here to lighten the mood.
This is relevant. Do you remember when you've told me, I wasn't there, when Tim Hawkins gave away one of his guitars?
Okay, so full context.
This is a great story.
Tim Hawkins was going to be taking some time off. Now, what we didn't know is we were all taking some time off.
He was a prophet.
Tim Hawkins said, I'm taking some time off, and the world of comedy shut down. And they said, if we don't have Tim.
Yeah, he's like, I'm going to take 2020 off.
Yeah, exactly.
And that was a wonderful decision.
What a move.
Yeah.
What a move that ended up costing him nothing. The last show that we're doing, I don't remember where we are. It was this cool little theater. And he gets to the end of his guitar part. And he decides he's going to give his guitar to a young fan in the crowd.
So nice.
Very, very nice. And it's a big moment. Everyone's like, oh, it's this huge thing. So I don't see exactly. From what I understand, what happens is he gives the guitar. And then as he steps back, he kind of like steps in a pit and breaks his ankle on stage. On stage. This happens. And then powers through like the little rest of his set. And as he told me later on the night, he was like, if there's ever a time that this applies, no good deed goes unpunished. Yeah. And he was just laid up, busted ankle.
He's on his tour bus with his ankle elevated.
There's a great picture of kind of all of us around him because it was supposed to be like this little farewell night, and he can't stand up. That happened to Dave Grohl. Dave Grohl broke his ankle on stage. He got a doctor to come like
backstage.
No. He did. I think he did it on stage, like kind of like push it. No. And the doctor's like, yeah, but he had to take him. But the doctor's like, hey, if I do this, it has to be held like this. And Dave Grohl's like, well, then you're staying here the whole show. And so Dave Grohl, with the doctor holding his ankle, performed the whole set.
Wow.
Yeah, well, show must go on.
Amazing.
I think he talked about, too, like, it didn't hurt because of the adrenaline. Like, he was just like, I have, it's a Foo Fighters show. There's probably 15, 20,000 people staring at you going... that'll pump you up. So all that to say,
maybe you could have laid down and done your job.
I did power through, and I didn't realize how much pain I was in until we drove back down that mountain. And I do think that it was the stress that caused the spasm of just like sitting tense for too long. Plus, I'm an old man and I get hurt, and back spasms are a thing, and muscle spasms are a thing. With dudes have bad backs. This is what we have. I need to swim more. I probably need to go to yoga. You have a bad back too?
Yeah.
People have bad backs. I don't know what the answer is. I know I'm not going to go see a chiropractor though.
You don't want to just pay somebody $150 every week?
No.
Okay.
No. Chiropractors are like the essential oilers of the medical world, and that they think what they do fixes everything.
It's true.
They really do.
And a lot of people swear by it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kids are getting bad grades. you go to a chiropractor. That'll fix it.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Upset with your cell phone bill? Chiropractor. I got it. This is.
I got a referral code.
I got a referral code. Yeah. Whatever. Psoriasis. Yeah.
Diabetes. Stop. Okay.
It's a spine.
This is too much.
Balding. It's because you just need to come see me. I'll get you aligned here. Allergies. Actually, I have heard someone say allergies. I did hear a chiropractor say that allergies are connected to the back. I was like, you're an insane human being.
Joke's on you a little bit because our last week's episode was entitled, Is It Stress Related? And I am here to tell you that your back spasm was somewhat stress related. And so, joke's on you. Because then when I took your dad to his, 10th hip appointment, I'm kidding, it was his 3rd, he told us or me about how this happened to him.
He used to get this too. I'll give you this. This was not day-to-day stress.
I am not kicking you while you're down. No. I'm just being lighthearted and funny about it.
No. I will go to, I admit that it's probably stressed, and I will see a chiropractor about it to decrease my stress levels. No, this was 100% stress because I was sitting in a stressful position. There's no doubt about that. You know?
Yeah, you do have to white knuckle a scary night drive.
Also, somebody was with me, and I was like, this is a newlywed man with a booming stand-up comedy career. I don't want him to die on my watch.
I'm glad he was with you.
Well, yeah, I will tell you, the road is not glamorous. It seems glamorous. It is not.
Yeah.
I've gotten the worst feeling on the road for me is when you have something going on the night before you leave physically that you're not sure if you can get home. And this has happened.
Yeah, I get that.
This has happened to me 2 times now. One time was coming home from Salt Lake City. It ended up being the sickest I've ever been.
Oh my gosh. I forgot about this.
Yeah.
This is when you took a drink of the Colorado River.
It wasn't the Colorado River. It's the river that runs through Denver. It's like some other... It's like
you can see why I thought it was the Colorado River.
Yeah. But it was some river that runs through downtown, and I did some stupid video, and I just it was just like that, and someone was like, "You did not take a drink from that." Now I don't 100% know it was from that. It could be from anything, but I got a crazy bad stomach bug the Saturday night before I left.
It was several days,
and then I had to get home on Sunday.
A food poisoning kind of thing.
I was sick till Friday.
Yeah, you had to cancel work.
I had to cancel very good work. And Johnny W filled in for me, and it was great. But then he still gave us the money, which was super gracious of him. Big ups to Johnny W.
Yeah.
But I started to get sick Saturday night. But you have that feeling where you go like, what's better? If I stay here sick, I have to pay for this hotel room each night. I just have to get home. And thankfully, Salt Lake, San Diego, straight shot. I remember I got to there. I went to the lounge and I ate a banana, and I was like, okay, this will help me. And we hadn't taken off, and I puked up that banana. But I got home.
And it's so mild.
Yeah, exactly. It's just a little something to put on there. And I remember that banana came up almost fully intact. It was disgusting. And then I had the same situation in La Crosse on Saturday, or whatever, Sunday night, where I was like, I went to bed and I was very sore, and I was going, I have to start taking better care of my back. I don't know how I'm going to do this. Probably chiropractor. I have to start taking better care of my back because this keeps happening. This is like the 3rd time this year.
You threw it out at the start of the year.
I did. Yeah, and then I did over my dad's last back surgery. We've told this story
of
where I went to pick up my dad from his back surgery, and I threw out my back going to get him.
Yeah,
from his back surgery. There's clearly some. It's the travel, it's the seats, it's the sitting, it's the driving, it's all bad. I'm lying in bed. I was like, well, I got to get up at 5:30. I was about to get 6 hours of sleep, which is you get 6 hours on a travel day. You feel great. You don't feel great, but mentally you're like, this is something, because you're used to like 3 to 5. And then I go to bed and I sleep for an hour, and I'm like, I can't move. I'm in so much pain. This is awful. And then I was trying to go to sleep for a half an hour. I was like, maybe if I take a shower, I'll put a hot water. And now I'm wrestling through the...
You're dead in the shower.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. If I get some hot water on it, maybe that'll do it, right? That'll make me feel better. I don't know what the options are. I'm not even in a big city, and I'm in La Crosse, Wisconsin. Like, and I just go like, if I do have to go to the hospital, what do I do? How do I get there? How far is it? Is it an hour to Milwaukee or 2 hours to Madison or something? Well, how far do I have to go?
Yeah.
And I pull up my phone, and there's an urgent care. There's an emergency room a mile and a half away, and it's open 24 hours. And I go, bingo dingo. This is it. It's 4 degrees outside, and I can't
1 a.m.
I can't get a shirt on because it hurts too bad to move. It's my left shoulder blade, and so then to my neck. So I, in 4-degree weather, walk outside in a t-shirt. I like.
Did the cold weather help?
Exactly. My teeth are chattering. Like as I get in this car that of course is not warming up, and I just drive a mile and a half. I'm going maybe 15 miles per hour because it's 3 a.m. and it's 3 degrees, and I'm in a foreign place, and I'm in so much pain. And I finally get in, and I check in with the lady, and she's like, "California, what are you doing here?" I was like, "I don't have time. I explain the thing." And there's like 4 people in the waiting room, and I was like, this right here is an advertisement for living in a small city. Because I was thinking if I was in San Diego right now, it would be an hour or 2 before I get seen.
Yeah.
I get back to the nurse. She's like, "Okay, we'll order an X-ray." And then she's like, "Could you take that shirt off for me?" And like I start to, and she's like, "You look like you're in quite a bit of pain." And she
seems nice.
It felt so good to be seen. Because
Thank you, Debbie.
When you're by yourself and in pain in this hotel room going, do I just pay? What do I do? Do I just pay to be in pain for the next 2 days and then fly to, because I'm only home for 2 days, you know?
Yeah.
And bad story long, the guy comes in, he's like, "Oh, yeah, this is a muscle spasm situation. This happens. This hurts. He called off the X-ray. He's like, nothing's broken."
Great.
Like,
saved us money.
Exactly. Yeah. And he goes like, I'm going to give you this shot, which is essentially like a really intense Tylenol straight into your blood, into my leg. And
the pill wasn't fast enough.
Yeah. The nurse ended up giving it because she was like, "Okay, I can do this in your butt or your leg." And I was like, and then didn't say anything else. I go, "Do you have a preference?"
Let's go with leg.
I don't know what's better here, you know? And she goes, "Well, I prefer your leg because your sciatic nerve is in your butt, and it'd be best if I didn't hit that." And then I was like, "I'm in a pretty small town. Small town nurse. Whatever you feel comfortable with. I don't want you to feel like you're chancing anything right here." And so they give me that. And she's like, "That's going to start kicking in pretty quick." And then they go and give me some like muscle relaxers. And he's like, "Hey, I wouldn't drive under these." And so like maybe take them like as you get to the airport, you know?
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So the most painful part of it all was I went to the Walgreens to get it, you know, because like a 24-hour pharmacy. My car will not warm up. It's too cold. I'm just chattering in my icebox, 8 degrees. You know how drive-ins are. I have to turn left. It's the one thing I can't do. So every time I go to give this guy my car, like, so I'm just sitting like this, and I never look at him. Like, he's like, "Hey, can I help you?" And I'm just like looking. I'm just doing eyes.
You're straight forward.
Eyes to the left, looking straight forward, both hands on the wheel, going like, "I have a prescription for," like I'm trying to throw my voice a little to the left. "A prescription for Dustin." And same thing, I hand him the license. Well, the way that I hand him things is I keep getting out of the car and then just kind of like half arm throwing it into the thing. And same thing, he's like, "California." I was like, I have a flight to catch. Just please give me these pills. I need to get home. They give me the pain relievers. I take them as I get to the airport. I'm still in quite a bit of pain. Oh, I didn't tell you this. The test on how I could get home, you gotta understand, it's not just me. It's me.
Oh, it's all your stuff.
And 3 bags and a backpack.
Yes.
This was a full, including a giant merch bag that had broken. So my big rolling merch bag was down to 3 wheels. So I was carrying my merch bag by the handle with my left arm is what I was supposed to be.
And I couldn't pick you up because we were at the hip appointment.
Melissa, by the time I got to San Diego, I was feeling great. Never felt better. But that was my test in the hotel room, was like I tried to hold my like camera box and I dropped it because it hurt so bad. And I was like, I can't travel right now.
Oh.
It hurts so bad. So I get there and I pop the pill. At this point, the shot worked well enough I could get my sweatshirt on. That was a huge deal.
Wow.
I got my sweatshirt on.
Sweatshirts are hard to get on.
And I had an exceptionally cold walk into the airport in La Crosse. By the time the meds had started kicking in, and I slept better than I normally sleep on planes because medication, baby. So all very exciting. But thank you to the nurse and the doctor in La Crosse for getting me home.
Yeah, and that Walgreens employee.
Yeah, and it's nice to be home. During our argument, Melissa made me feel bad for sleeping in, even though I got 3 hours of sleep the night before and I'm on pain meds. But it is great to be home, to have it is
a bit of an oversimplification.
It is great to have. It's just nice to be with my loving, supporting wife, who actually, to your credit, this is one way that we're all trying to. I'm kidding. We were fighting about a million things, and none of it had anything to do with us. I've actually felt you have been very kind, and you've been very empathetic about this particular shoulder pain, and I know you've been working on that, because when people bring needs to you, sometimes, or emotions, particularly me, we've talked about this in previous episodes. I do it so little that you don't have a lot of experience on how to handle that.
Yeah, mostly I just like pick up pieces. I did the dad appointment and the pharmacy and some other work things, and then I just went and got the girls from school.
Right.
Because your phone was on silent.
Yeah.
I just like let you sleep.
Which thank you for that.
Is just the carrying on.
My bad joke aside, I feel very loved and supported. And I'm getting on a plane tomorrow.
Sucks.
Peace.
You had to do that. Traveling, being sick, solo.
Right.
It's a lot.
So, and you're sick. You got jaw pain over here. You got stress. We got a lot going on.
But I do think the fun thing is, Dustin, is that you told an HHS, which is a holiday horror story.
That was a holiday horror story. Boom.
And that's what we ask our backseaters to do, is to bring in the ER stories.
Yeah.
And the travel.
So take that, everybody.
Yeah.
I think I actually have one right here.
Yeah.
And then
I think we should hold off on the bingo dingo. I think we're running up against the clock here.
Yeah, we got lots of stuff going on right now. This actually is a good segue, because
Do we have any?
Yes,
HHSs?
we have a Valentine's Day one, which is great, because we can read this and then we can get to why you hate Valentine's Day.
Okay.
All right, so this is from Patrick.
Good.
Patrick's a good follower and a listener. Hi, Patrick. And the subject is Valentine's holiday, in parentheses, almost horror stories. Hi, Dustin and Melissa. Love the podcast. I saw you open in CT a couple years ago. I'm assuming that's Connecticut. I've been a regular listener ever since. Thought I'd share a couple of quick Valentine's Day miscues. Everyone, please
Love
take
it.
note.
Yes.
This is a good time to send in some Valentine days. Valentine days? I'm on meds, guys.
Valentine's Day.
Holiday horror stories.
Yeah.
Back in college, I saved up to buy my newish girlfriend some very small diamond earrings for our first Valentine's Day together. I planned to give them to her after dinner. She was going to college near Boston, so I drove up that morning and we spent the day in the city. And at one point, we passed a Tiffany's ad for some diamond stud earrings, just like what I had gotten her, although they were advertising much larger ones. She looks at the ad and says, "Why would someone ever spend money on diamond earrings when the fake ones look just as nice?" At this point, I should have thanked God that I could get off cheap next time, but I decided to bring up the topic again at dinner, where she reiterated what a waste of money diamond earrings are.
Oh, no.
Anyway, after dinner, we drove back her to campus, where I reluctantly gave her the gift. When she opened the box, she immediately changed her tone and said how much she loves them. I wasn't sure I believed her. That might be one of those things too, that you do lie about it and then you see them and you're like, these are pretty nice.
You're like, I'll put them on.
All right.
Try.
Fast forward 2 years, we're still dating. College is done and she's living back with her parents. Rather than spend money on some gaudy gift, I planned to cook her dinner at my apartment that night. I'd gotten the cookbook, Winter with Dinner, the Christmas before. So I thought I'd try out one of the recipes in there.
That's a great title.
That is a great title. Dinner was just about ready when I took the steak out of the broiler and set it on the stove to rest. I went to the fridge to grab something when the Pyrex pan I had used in the broiler exploded and sent shards of glass flying everywhere. Lucky, neither of us were staying close to it, but dinner was ruined. Nothing says romance like bits of glass in your homemade mashed potatoes.
Oh.
Pretty sure we ended up ordering a pizza instead, and I learned to never use Pyrex in the broiler. Noted.
Yeah, because glass will shatter.
Yeah, I wouldn't know. Needless to say, I don't try too hard on Valentine's Day anymore. Some people might scoff at the idea, but after those mishaps, she still married me. We'll celebrate 16 years in May. Congratulations. Again, love the podcast. Really enjoyed it pre-COVID, but having you and Melissa discuss your lives the past few years has been a bit of therapy for me. I see a lot of similarities between your relationship and my family dynamics to my own. We have 3 kids, boy, girl ages 10, 8, and 2. We also have number 4 on the way. Yes, we understand how the process works, and yes, we own a TV. Keep it up. Hope you come back to New England again to recommend your podcast, and especially anyone who listen. If only you had a book I could recommend as well.
Hey!
Oh, man.
Well, congratulations.
I will say, of the touring the Northeast and having a book, one of those 2 things might happen by June. I don't know. Hard to say. Congratulations on 16 years of marriage and baby number 4 on the way. Thanks, Patrick. Melissa, awesome. I would say of the holidays, I would say Valentine's is probably the one you have the most ill will towards. Am I wrong there? Christmas you love, Thanksgiving is fine. June you got a lot going on, but it's birthdays you're good.
I'm okay with other people's birthdays.
Yeah, your birthday.
I get weird with my birthday.
Yeah.
I'll try and pinpoint what I don't like about Valentine's Day.
Okay.
I don't like kind of the hype or like the showy, we're in love. Mm-hmm. But then I think in school, it's just even harder because you're like, they talk about Valentine's Day. That's like a new spin, loving your friends or your singleness or whatever. And I think that that's great. But I think that in school, there's a lot of pressure to have like 15 balloons you're carting around.
If I was
as a girl,
if I was like a mid-level local famous San Diego comedian and I was looking to host a show that day, I would have a Valentine's holiday show. Valentine's Day. Sorry.
Does he?
No, but I would. Everybody, it's Valentine's Day. Former front seater, Mal Hall, ladies and gentlemen.
Valentine's.
Yeah, it was a terrible joke. I couldn't think of anything else that rhymed with Val or Gal and Sal, and it's all names. But anyway, so you don't like the hype. You hate hype in general.
Yeah, I'm just like, just relax. But
you don't want me to post any, like on anniversary, you want me to post about us. And on birthday, probably, you don't want me to do a picture of us on Valentine's Day.
Oof, I am tricky.
Yeah, because you do and you don't.
That.
Yeah.
So I don't like over the top bragging.
Yeah.
Like if you're in Hawaii, I'm like, relax.
Yeah, yeah.
You know?
Even though when you were in Hawaii, the one thing you didn't do was relax.
Right, but I also didn't post about it.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. You did go, but you didn't post about it.
So, but I
have a comedian friend of mine that one of the things that I respect about them the most is that they fly private and they don't post about it. I love that.
Yeah.
I love that.
But I'm getting more comfortable with like, it's not bragging, it's like thankful or enjoying.
Yeah.
So if you love your spouse or your person, then I'm not going to pass judgment and I'm going to be like, I'm happy for you.
Yeah.
So I think some of my cynicism towards the holiday is melting. Melting. You can do whatever you want.
Yeah.
Because
I think holidays are different or like vacations are different because there was a time in our life where we didn't have a lot.
Yeah. And lots of people don't.
And it can come across as bragging and just kind of insensitive to where other people are at and they don't. And then, like, how cool that you go on a vacation to Hawaii with your family. That's fantastic. Well, but then at the same time,
they worked hard. They saved with the money.
They had rich parents.
They
whatever.
Came from wealth. Yeah.
They were born into generational wealth and have never struggled. And great. I would respect somebody so much if they put that in their caption. So thankful for my rich parents. Oh my gosh.
That would be so funny.
Oh, the self-awareness. I think that's all. That's it. But, even if it doesn't, even if it's not bragging, sometimes it can just be like, but then at what point does that mean you never post a picture of yourself when you have nice clothes on? Because not everyone can afford nice clothes. So you have to make a decision of when you're gonna start. Because anything that you're doing, we posted pictures of our family in New York. That was a thing. Mm-hmm. Right?
Yeah. And that's why I'm aware of it.
Yeah.
But if you're carrying all those balloons around at school and posting about it online, you better also have brought like some chocolate for your gals. Love those who are also don't have the bouquet of flowers or balloons. Does that make sense?
A lot of people don't have Valentines.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I don't have one because my wife doesn't like Valentine's Day. So if anyone wants to celebrate Valentine's Day with me, I'm available. I have an option. Someone who doesn't have such a bitter, cynical heart towards love.
Oh my gosh.
In the name of caring about other people.
It's just the day.
It's just the day. It's a very like commercialized holiday, you know?
That's America.
That's America. 100% agree with you. A lot of people are alone, but there's a way to celebrate the things that you have without it coming across as bragging. But I think
it's a fine line.
It's a very fine line. It's a delicate little. But you know what? You are a talented artist, and you can draw fine lines.
Oh, thanks.
You can draw thick lines too. Whatever. It just depends. It's a fine
Straight line.
But you know what, Melissa? You have the utensils to do the job. It's all about the utensil. It's all about.
I think that's the wrong word.
What?
The tools. Utensil, that makes me think of like a fork.
Well, utensil, I was thinking about like pencils. I think it rhymes with pencil. So my utensil pencil. The important thing is we were talking about Valentine's Day earlier and
I emailed you over the weekend.
What you were going to buy for yourself.
Yeah. I took Joel he can never get his hair cut. And I took him by his high school we were the only white people in there.
Mm-hmm.
This was more of a barber shop. I just have some friends and local ladies who fit my kids in at salons. And I was there. The whole experience took 2 hours. And so I was bored on my phone. And I've been thinking about buying a purse for a really long time. And you commented on my purse recently and you're like, I like your purse. And I was like, oh, I don't. And I just always get my purses at Ross or Target. And I've never owned a designer handbag. And I'm not getting a designer handbag, but I did get one of those like ethical, like expensive leather bags. And so I emailed you over the weekend at the barbershop and I said, hey, I think I'm going to get this.
For myself for Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's a mom bag.
Yeah.
And I could travel with it. I also use a backpack quite a bit. The Herschel backpack, like for when I'm out at the beach or whatever with the kids. Yeah. But I was like, yeah, I'm going to get it. And then I did. And then you were looking at the credit card before this podcast. And
then
you
I
were
saw
like,
how much it cost.
What?
I didn't look at the price when you sent it. And that goes to show that you are indeed a very complicated person.
But I think it took a lot of self-awareness for me to be like, do I expect something? Do I want something? Is there a surprise? Is there a thing?
Yeah.
Because sometimes we actually like to shop together. So we like to go shopping together.
Yeah.
But it's not like I picked something out for you. I asked permission to pick something out for myself. But then after you got injured, I joked that we should do couples acupuncture. That could be our Valentine's Day.
There's no way I would ever do that.
I know.
Under zero circumstance whatsoever would I ever let somebody
put needles in your back.
Just zero. I hate the idea of it. I get anxious at the thought of it. It's very funny. I'm glad you got the purse. I think it is absolutely. This speaks to all of that. Like there's a lot about us that you could unpack in that little moment, which is you got a thing. And for yourself, you didn't think to get a thing to me. I don't care that you didn't get the thing. Not for 1 second do I care because I don't want anything. I am really happy you got a thing that you like. I am sad that you don't like when I get you things. There's a lot of.
Well, that makes me feel sad.
I'm just being honest here. We're trying.
Dang it.
Yeah. But you were pretty clear on Christmas. You pretty much told me not to get you anything for Christmas.
But we were together and there was a farmer's market and I really like what I picked out.
Yeah.
I would have been happier to buy that bag with you.
Yes.
Because I'm worried.
Right.
About the sizing.
But
you can't buy an ethical fair trade.
Yeah.
You have to buy it online.
That's exactly the compromise that the gift that you can give me is to let me get you stuff. But the compromise is to do it together. I think that you're right. That is like the stuff that you got for Christmas, like you said, where we went to the farmer's market, we picked it out, and I helped you pick it out, and then I bought it, and all our money's together anyways, you know. But it's
it's the experience.
When you get something that you don't normally get, and you're with that person, and they kind of like they're like, yeah, get that. That is like them getting it for you because you're giving the person permission to splurge on something, to get something for themselves,
and they only have like one storefront. You know what I mean?
Right, this place you got the purse?
Yeah.
No, I'm not upset about that, but I'm just saying there is
I agree with you.
That is one instance that does reveal a lot about each other.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways, thanks for tuning into the pod today, Melissa, and I have a lot to discuss, everybody. All right, take care.
Bye.
Hey everybody, thanks for listening. Want to give a special shout out to our As Essential as Oils patrons. That's our $25 a month and up level of patrons. So Rachel Wilson, Trey Turner, Nathan and Jennifer Merritt, Adam Bush, Jennifer Ashley Downs, Juliana Smith, Jordan Cohen, Code to Grow, Courtney Ebling, Lori Amos, Dave Cox, Isaac Terron, Farah Journey, Bonnie Galiendo, Carrie Teague, Avril Griffiths, Jessica Sewell, Rachel Kennedy, Damarius Diaz-Stevens, Nicole Carraz, and Tiffany Payne. Thank you so much for your support.